Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina Studios for our Sunday night live stream show. Thanks for tuning in and joining us tonight for our special Sunday night live stream show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. We got some cool stuff to talk about and some great deals to kind of foreshadow our Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals that are coming up here shortly. So definitely a lot of cool stuff going on for those upcoming sale days. So definitely stay tuned tonight because there's a lot of cool stuff that you want to know. Willie Solowski, Richard Blazak, appreciate those stars. What's going on? Jay, Ethan, Steve Taylor. Susan Brittis, what's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing well tonight. Jonathan Gonzalez, deals are the best. I agree. Bob Cole, what's up from Leesburg? Ryan Friend, hopefully you're doing all right. You're recovered from that 44-hour, or actually it was Ryan May who was on the 44-hour. Hopefully everybody's doing well. That 44-hour that came in this morning crushed the fish. We're going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about the killer hogfish bite we've been seeing. We're going to talk about the deals we got coming up. Our supporters fishing trip tomorrow. We're going to talk about that and other great stuff. So make sure you comment where you're watching from. Don't forget to like the video if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, don't forget to double tap. And also, if you're watching on Instagram, you can go to Instagram.com on your phone browser, turn your phone sideways, and get the right layout to the screen. If you watch on the Instagram app, it only gives you kind of the center of the screen, whereas if you go to website, Instagram.com, and turn your phone sideways, you'll be able to see full screen. So keep that in mind. Also, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We'd appreciate it. If you want a chance to win those free trips that we're going to be giving away tonight, you do have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook stream. So you got to go to facebook.com, find the Hubbard's Marina page, and comment one time in order to be eligible to win. You can watch on YouTube, Instagram, or any Facebook page or group you want, but you have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina live stream on Facebook in order to be eligible to win. Also, want to make sure we give a shout out to Gator Gyms. This show is brought to you by Gator Gyms Tackle. Really appreciate the guys over there at Gator Gyms. If you haven't checked out Gator Gyms Tackle at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete, you're missing out. They have more inventory than any tackle shop that I've been into recently. It's absolutely incredible the amount of inventory Gator Gyms has. They have rods coming out of their ears. It is nuts. So definitely check out Gator Gyms down there at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Exit 16 as you head south on I-275 right before the Skyway in South St. Pete. Really cool place, great people. And bring your kid because Gator Gyms Tackle gives away gifts to young anglers. So really cool. Mark Tancre, appreciate those stars. If you're not watching, or if you don't know what stars are, if you're watching on Instagram or Facebook, those stars are a way people watching on Facebook get an opportunity to show their support, and definitely helps us out a lot, kind of funds the cool stuff that we do here in our studio. Mike Hart, what's up, buddy? Hopefully you're doing well, Mike. We enjoyed hanging out with you, Mike Hart, and your better half at Metropolitan Ministries this past Saturday for the Fishing for Hope event. We collected over 400 turkeys for people in need for the holidays. Really, really cool event and absolutely amazing setup they have over there at Metropolitan Ministries. If you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend going over at least one time just to check out the setup. You can bring toys, you can bring food, non-perishables, or you can drop by with a check or a gift card, or you can donate online. So check out Metropolitan Ministries. Definitely really, really cool. Next year, we're going to plan it out better and definitely pump it up a little bit more. So Fishing for Hope, look out for that next year around Thanksgiving. Really, really amazing event. Very blessed to be a part of it for sure. So enjoyed it. Andrew Johnson, appreciate those stars, man. Thank you, buddy. And I saw Mike Baker, the legendary Splash himself, was in the building. I saw that comment, Mike Baker. Thanks for watching, buddy. Mark Toncray, appreciate those stars as well. Thank you, sir. With that, let's get into these inshore photos, show you what we've been catching inshore and what's going on the inshore side of things. Then we're going to work our way nearshore, talk a little bit about weather and Black Friday, then launch into your questions. Remember, if you have a question, you got to text us at that phone number right down there to get your question answered live during the show. So make sure you shoot us your questions if you got them. And with that, let's see what photos we got to show you. Black drum bite has definitely been going well. We've been seeing some solid black drum lately around those structures like docks, piers, bridges, jetties, all good areas to find those black drum. And seemingly really, really good on those crustaceans like cut crabs and shrimp is a good option for the black drum too. So definitely want to make sure you take advantage of that good black drum bite around local bridges and big structures, what you're looking for those black drum. Pete, thanks for those 200 stars, man. Hopefully you and Christine are doing well. Also, we're seeing those Jack Crevalle are around the area, moving in big schools, super aggressive, and we see some bigger ones, and we see a lot of these kind of more average size jacks too. Really exciting when you see those big schools move through, and they bite just about anything you throw at them, as long as you're retrieving it quickly. Same thing with these mackerel. You can find them on the edges of the flats, around passes, inlets, wherever there's bait in some water moving, and deeper water specifically, you'll find those mackerel. So look for birds as you're cruising between fishing spots. You might find a school of bait, and wherever there's bait, birds, there's going to be mackerel, Jack Crevalle, or bluefish. Throw something shiny and retrieve it quickly, and you'll hook up almost immediately. It's a lot of fun. The redfish bite's been going well. A little slower on the redfish inshore lately, but they're spreading out, making it a little trickier to find them. But once you find them, soft plastics working really well. Slow-moving soft plastics, paddle tails, the super flukes, also live shrimp, small crabs work well too. Cut bait's going to get better and better, like cut thread fins around oyster bars, mangrove shorelines, at high tide, at lower tides. Look for them around the potholes of the flats. We're also seeing a lot of these big breeder-sized redfish in large schools near shore. I got a video from these guys. They found a school of breeding redfish out on the surface when they were fishing near shore, and caught a couple of these nice big old redfish before the school disappeared. So awesome to see those big schools of redfish near shore. But remember, when you encounter that, they are breeding, so make sure you get rid of them quickly and be careful to release them gently, because they're out there breeding and they tend to be a little bit more fragile. Also, sheep's head bite's been picking up. We've been seeing a lot of sheep's head recently around the docks, piers, bridges, jetties, seawalls. Virtually anywhere there's some good growth and structure, a lot of sheep's head showing up. Especially as the water cools down, we'll see more and more of those sheep's head. Snook bite's been going real well for us around the passes. There's still some snook. Guys caught some the other morning prior to the boat going out, so the snook bite is still happening in the pass. We're seeing a lot of those snook move into the back bays, though, and start staging up at those creek mouths, river mouths. This is a little bridge at the mouth of a creek, holding the big boy snook, big girl snook, moving back into the back bay waters as the water chills. Here's some snook from the pass. Still some around the passes. A lot of the more juvenile, schooly snook are still in the passes, where the big dogs seemingly are moving back into the bays a little bit more quickly. We're seeing some trout around. Trout bite's been a little soft, a little harder to work for. Definitely finding more redfish and definitely more snook. But when you do find the trout, they've been solid sized and in pretty good numbers. Look for them around those dock lights and bridge lights adjacent to passes at night, and then during the day, those edges of the flats where they can ambush passing bait easily is definitely where we've been seeing the most amount of trout. Let's work our way near shore, show you guys what we've been catching near shore. As I stated before we got into the photos, absolutely incredible hogfish bite. It's picking up more and more. Today was awesome for the hogfish. They caught 8 keeper hogfish on the morning half day. They caught 10 keeper hogfish on the afternoon half day. And tomorrow, the supporters private club on Facebook is going out for a supporters only hogfish sleigh fest with Captain Frank. It's absolutely free to any supporter who was already a supporter prior to the announcement. And there's 45 of us going out. We're going to be filming a little promo tips and tricks video on hogfish and other stuff while on the boat. Plus, hopefully catching a bunch of hogfish too tomorrow. We're doing a 12-hour special hogfish sleigh-in trip with the supporters and bringing a film crew out too. So it's going to be awesome fun. Really appreciate those supporters who make all this Facebook and YouTube and Instagram live show stuff possible. The Supporters Club is awesome. Really, really cool. If you haven't checked it out or thought about being a supporter, you get the supporters after show. You get a lot of background information. You get the captain and crew schedule each week. You get some more fishing reports and more updated content. Plus, occasionally you might be able to go fishing for free. So definitely cool. If you haven't thought about becoming a supporter on Facebook, think about it. It's only $4.99 a month, and couple people are going fishing tomorrow for free for being a supporter. Definitely a lot of hogfish on the 5-hour half days and 10 hours too. We've been seeing a lot of these hogfish on the 10-hour all day and 5-hour half day. Hogfish bites picking up, guys. Oops, went too fast. But as you can see here, these are all hogfish from this past week. It's been hot for the hogs, so great time to get out there. As that water cools off, we'll see more and more of these hogfish biting well. So good time to get out there on the 5-hour half day or 10-hour all day to target those hogfish. Big mangrove snapper we've been seeing too, and the occasional gag grouper. Stan Kovia Yuck. Appreciate those 200 stars. Thanks, buddy. As I mentioned, big mangrove snapper, the 44-hour came in this morning. Big mangrove snapper was over 9 pounds. It's crazy. So big mangrove snapper lately, near shore and offshore. The offshore gag bite, deeper than 100 foot of water on our long-range trips, like our 12-hour extreme, 39-hour trips. That's where we're getting the gag grouper. You have a chance for them on the 10-hour trip. We've been catching a few 10-hour all-day gag grouper. Here's a keeper from a recent 10-hour all-day. We've even caught the occasional one on 5-hour half days, especially on the hub. Here's a keeper from a hub 5-hour half day. So the gag bite is on, and it's getting better and better. Nice big cobia from the 44-hour trip, too. That was a nice surprise. Big old cobia from that 44-hour full moon trip. The gag bite was insane on the 44-hour trip, let me tell you. So they had a rough ride out, really rough ride out. It's about as rough as you will go out in. It was 5 to 7 foot at one point in the early part of that 44-hour trip. Around sunrise, they had a couple 8-foot rollers go by the boat that buried the bow. So it was rough on the 44-hour trip. We lost about 15 people or so off the trip who canceled because they were worried about the weather. It was rough, but it calmed down nicely after sunrise, and just absolutely the fish fired off. One spot had 50 keeper gags, Will said. Just insane the amount of gag grouper caught. Just about 90 keeper gags. About 12 to 14 people caught a 2-day limit of gag grouper. Literally, people were fully limited out, 2-day limit on gag grouper and mangrove snapper. An incredible trip. Awesome, awesome fishing. Michelle Dillard, appreciate those 200 stars. Thank you, Michelle. But enough about the 44-hour. Let's talk Black Friday. Black Friday, we're going to go full screen so you guys can see this. I think it's, I hit the button again. But there it is. Black Friday deals. Look at that, guys. $20 Rapala lures, a $700 and basically an $800 reel for only $550. The Saltus MQ is like 35-40% off. The Saltist is normally $369. It's only $299. Some killer deals, 20, 30, 40% off for Black Friday. An incredible special on reels. So the Rapala X-Wraps are $20. The Saltiga LD50 2-speed is $549. The Saltus LD 2-speed is only $299. the Saltus MQ 10,000 is only $250. $22 for the Akuma Avenger 3000 and $24 for the 4000 Akuma Avenger. Those are online only deals. Josh, show them the next photo. So those real prices that everything I just said were online only deals for our new online store. We also have store only deals that you can only get in the store, and that includes 25% off Bull Bay rods, 30% off Costa glasses, $2 dip nets, $8 micro sticks, $5 Hubbard hats, and the Sea Striker combo spin and reel for only $20. So incredible deals this Black Friday. We're very excited about it. And those all start Black Friday and they run through the end of day Cyber Monday. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be sending this stuff out in an email shortly to everybody this week. We're also going to be sending out some more Facebook notifications about this stuff too. Again, we're going to have online only deals that are only available in our online store, and we're going to have in-store only deals that you'll only be able to get when you're in the shop. So for those of you out of town, you can still take advantage of the Hubbard's Marina Black Friday deals. We will not have our gift certificate Black Friday deal. I repeat, we will not have our gift certificate Black Friday deal. We currently have a D rating. D as in dog. A D rating on the Better Business Bureau because three different complaints about gift certificates. You know, Captain Fluffy, that whole nickname, that was because of a gift certificate. Someone was so upset they couldn't redeem a gift certificate that was almost 4 years old. Everywhere on the gift certificate, it says only good for a year. But someone wanted to redeem a 4-year-old gift certificate, got so mad that I wouldn't bend to their will that they left bad reviews on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere you could leave a bad review, they did. Then they called the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau wanted to make me talk to the guy. I was like, dude, I've been talking to the guy for 6 months. I'm not an idiot business owner. We care about our guests. I did everything in my power to try to work this out with the guests. The Better Business Bureau is like, well, we help businesses connect with our clients and make sure we resolve problems. I was like, listen, guys, I don't need help with that. I really care, and I'm very active, and when someone's upset, I talk to them and do everything I can within reason. But I wasn't going to bend over backwards and totally go into left field when this person was just being outrageous. Then, a week later, it happened again with another customer. And then, like 4 weeks later, it happened again with another guest. So never again. Never again. Black Friday gift certificate deals are over because a few bad apples ruined it for the bunch. So I apologize. But I had to vent. I had to tell you the story being cussed at, screamed at, being called a liar and a thief. It's over. We're done. We're done with the gift certificates because of that reason. Sorry, guys. Appreciate your support and appreciate you taking advantage. But hopefully you can enjoy all the other great Black Friday deals we have going on. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be announcing those soon. We got one more photo for you tonight. A special photo that we've been holding back. Some people have been saying, you need to post more photos of your kids. You got to post more photos of your kids. Well, here you go, guys. There's a kid photo. My son, Jack, he's on the left side of my screen. He is a little bit more than 2 years old. And my daughter, Emma, is a little bit more than 4 months old. And my son, Jack, is great with his sister, super protective, always there to help her out and bring her stuff and tuck her in. So cute. And the other day, he was in her face trying to calm her down and sing her songs. It was so sweet. So had to share the photo. Proud dad moment. He said, I love you, sister. Calls her sister. I can't even say it right, but he does it really cute. Way cuter than I can do it. And and his new thing is if I'm like, hey, Josh, I love you. He's like, no, I love Josh. My love, Josh. Same thing if I say, Mama, I love Mama. No, my love, Mama. So he's protective. It's only him who gets to love everybody. It's awesome. It's too funny. We're still giving away fishing trips, Robert Miller. We're talking about gift certificates, the gift certificate Black Friday deal. That is not happening. But we're still giving away free trips like we do every Sunday night. So stay tuned. You got to be watching live to win them. Speaking of, it's time for the weather. But before we get to the weather, Josh, let's give away our first free trip of the night. We're going to give away a 5-hour half day for 2 guests. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. That is a $130 value. Let's see who won, Josh. Whoa, James Vereen. Congrats, my man. 5-hour half day for 2 guests. Him and his son were out today on the 10-hour trip, so that's pretty cool. Congrats, James Vereen. And hopefully you did well today on the 10-hour. Robert Holshouser, appreciate those 1,000 stars, buddy. Thank you very much for that. With that, we are going to get into the weather here and show you guys a little bit about the weather coming up. We don't have our graphics ready today. We're in the middle of our Regulars Club renewals. Totally blanked out there for a second. We're in the middle of our Regulars Club renewals, so I'm super strapped with that. So unfortunately didn't get our normal graphics together, but we're going to run through the weather for you real quick. Josh is on our weather links page on our website. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, and then click the weather links, that's going to bring you to our weather page where all our helpful weather links are. Under the wind finder column, we're going to go to the 5 and 10 hour forecast area. That's going to show you kind of the Nearshore buoy. Works really well for our 5 and 10 hour trips. You can see here tomorrow we've got a beautiful morning. Then the wind's going to start picking up once that front moves through, and we're going to start getting the wind going. Thank you, Josh. Tomorrow afternoon, and I think the mouse is dead. Yep. I think it's dead. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. All those beautiful Black Friday photos don't happen by themselves. The boys have been hard at work. Yeah, I don't got anything. So, as you can see, tomorrow, Monday, going to be a nice way to start the day. Then around 1 o'clock, the wind's going to start picking up, and that front's going to move through, and it's going to get a little bit more windy. And as it gets windier and windier, the waves are going to pick up. So tomorrow, late afternoon, it's going to get a little nautical out there, and then it's going to stay pretty nautical moving forward into Tuesday. Tuesday looks like we're probably going to have to cancel just about all our trips, unfortunately. Wednesday looks better and might be doable on some nearshore stuff as the wind clocks out of the east and a high pressure settles in behind the front. So Wednesday looks doable and close to shore. And then Thursday, we are closed completely due to Thanksgiving. We are closed 3 days a year, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas for family. We are a family-run and family-owned and operated business. So we are closed Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. So nothing going on Thursday, but then look at Friday. Absolutely flat calm. And into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Look at that. Finally, a nice weekend of weather. So that's basically what we're looking at this week, folks. A strong front coming through sometime Monday afternoon, Monday night. Then it's going to be pretty nasty Tuesday, going to be calming down Wednesday, nice again Thursday, beautiful Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you want to get out in the water this weekend, book now because it is going to be filling up fast. It's amazing how busy we are on the backside of Thanksgiving. So make sure you book now if you want to get out there and take advantage of that good weather on the backside of Thanksgiving. All right. So let's see. Next thing is our dates changed. Date change announcement. Our 2022 specialty trip schedule. The 2022 specialty trip schedule is going to be coming out November 30th. That is Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday. Regardless, it's November 30th. Yes, it is a Tuesday. So Tuesday, November 30th at 11 a.m., our 2022 schedule is released. Best way to book that is online, starting right around 10:59 and 30 seconds, 11 a.m. That schedule is going to be released, and it's going to go crazy. So make sure you're staying tuned. November 30th, 11 a.m., that 2022 schedule will come out. Our Regulars Club for 2022 will be open to new members starting November 30th as well. So if you want to hop in our Regulars Club, and if you don't know what the Regulars Club is, Josh created a beautiful website page on hubbardsmarina.com. You can go to info, there's a Regulars Club page. You can go to Fishing Trip, there's a Regulars Club page. Josh put it everywhere on the website. It's under fishing trip information, it's under fishing trips, it's under info. You'll find the Regulars Club information. So it's hubbardsmarina.com/regulars-club, and it's under all those different tabs as well. There's a video there explaining the Regulars Club, explaining the difference between the Regulars Club and Supporters Club, and all the benefits and policies that surround it. I get it a lot. Well, I had it this morning, actually. Someone was talking about how, well, I wasn't a regular, so I didn't get the time of day from the crew. And it's like, man, we work really hard to make sure we cater to everybody. And anything, the regulars are held to a higher standard. There's higher expectations from the Regulars Club members. And now it's listed right there on the page. So you see there is an etiquette policy. There are some requirements that we require. And you have to go fishing a lot. It's not a discount program. It's a loyalty program. So if you're fishing 10, 15, 20 times a year or more, then it makes sense to join the Regulars Club. But that will start November 30th for our 2022 club. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Also, it's time to get into some questions. Let's see what questions you guys have. Hopefully, you have some questions. Thanks a lot, Josh. He doesn't want people to find out about the Regulars Club.
You see, the one right before it was like, Josh is the man. And geez,
I didn't see
thanks
that one.
A lot, Josh.
I didn't see that one.
Both sides, both sides.
You get it from all angles, man. I can't make everybody happy, Josh. Should all be satisfied? Should all satisfied customers go to the Better Business Bureau to help raise your score? That'd be nice. I'm not asking you to. The Better Business Bureau, I'm not too worried about. I think that was a thing back in like the 80s and 90s. I don't think anybody looks at it anymore because our D rating hasn't scared anybody away yet. And if you Google Hubbard's Marina, the Better Business Bureau does not show up anywhere. I think they kind of faded with time. They didn't follow the website trends, TripAdvisor, Google, Yelp. All those different review sites are much more important, to me at least. And thankfully, we have such a great team and such a great website team, Josh, and sometimes Jared, and our crew and captains. We're just so blessed to have such an awesome Hubbard's Marina family that we dominate when it comes to reviews on those more important sites like TripAdvisor, Yelp, Google Business. So it's not had any effect, thankfully, but it had a lot of effect on my psyche dealing with very upset people who were in extreme left fields over these gift certificates. So it is what it is. Have they announced amberjack season for next year? So amberjack season for next year, that's a great question. It is going to be the same as years past at this time. So it should be May, August, September, and October. And it only opens up in May if we didn't hit the amberjack quota this year, which we will not, because we haven't been landing our quota because they claim amberjack are in a lot of trouble. And I would agree, we haven't been seeing a lot of amberjack. At least in my lifetime, I've seen the amberjack go down quite a bit. So I would imagine that we should have a May amberjack season followed by August, September, and October. But amberjack are in trouble and they're being reviewed right now. So there's a good chance that amberjack season could potentially change mid-year next year. But we saw how long it took them to change the rules with lane snapper. So once the council makes a decision and finalizes something, it has to get forwarded to the agency for rulemaking, and the agency is moving extremely slow. So because of that, it could potentially be a full year of our typical amberjack season, with May, August, September, and October being the season. But this next year, we didn't even put the fishing seasons in our specialty trip schedule because we are basically leaving it up to you and our fishing regulations page right on hubbardsmarina.com. You can click fishing trips and then click fishing rules and regulations. And there's the Fish Rules app, and you can download it, and it definitely helps you to monitor what's going on with fishing regulations in state and federal waters. Makes it super easy to find out what's going on, and you can watch our shows, and we can always tell you too. But basically, with the changing fishing seasons, we're going to tell you what we expect, and then if it changes through the year, then we don't have to worry about changing and updating our trip manifests, our trip descriptions, our online reservation system, and our online schedule if we just don't list that stuff. So that's why we're making that change this year. Willie Solowski, appreciate those stars, man. Thank you very much. Next question. Does the shark trip allow everybody to hook up on a shark? And what's the biggest one caught? So we catch 10, 12-foot sharks. Those are the big ones that we land. But most of the time, 6, 8 foot is average. Does everybody get a chance to fight a big shark? You have a chance to reel one. We won't hook 9 big sharks in 3 hours of fishing. It's impossible because typically one really big 6, 8, 10-foot shark is going to take 3 hours to reel in. But what we do is we kind of do a rotation. So how the shark trip works is there's 9 people on the hub. We go out there, anchor up, we start chumming. We put about 3, maybe 4 rods out. And if one of those rods goes off, one group is assigned to that rod, so that group gets a chance to hold that rod, fight that fish. Once that group gets tired, they'll pass it to the next group. Once that group gets tired, we pass it to the next group. And then let's say we land a 4, 5, 6 foot shark and only 2 groups got to fight that fish. Then if we hook another shark, then the other remaining groups that didn't get to fight the first shark get to fight the second one. And then if everybody gets a chance to fight it, then we reset. Everybody gets assigned their own rod, and we set it back. But you're not holding the rod. You're not actively fishing. We anchor up. We start chumming. We set rods out. If we hook up, captain and crew grabs the rod, sets the hook. You're mainly there to wrestle a big trophy shark or Goliath grouper. We get it up to the surface. We take pictures, and we release it. It's not a meat trip. So the shark trip is very unique, completely different from anything else we offer for that reason. You're not actively fishing. You're not taking any meat home. It's catch and release only. And you're just sitting there waiting for the bite. And when the bite happens, it's fight time. Patricia Bowden, thanks for those 200 stars. Appreciate you. How's the 39-hour looking for this weekend? It looks great. It looks great. It's definitely an awesome weekend ahead of weather. So we're looking forward to awesome fishing on that weekend 39-hour trip. And should have not only great fishing on the backside of that good weather, but I would imagine there's probably another front looming early the week following. So we'll probably be fishing on the front side of another front too. So great weather and should hopefully be great fishing too. Plus, can't beat good weather this time of year. Nice and cool, not hot, not humid, and great opportunity to catch some gag grouper, big mangroves, blackfin tuna, kingfish, almacos, yellowtail, big vermilion, porgies, scamp. So great opportunity to join us here at Hubbard's Marina. Any tips or trips for catching flounder and targeting flounder? I would definitely say the best tip or trick for targeting flounder would be targeting those sandy edges of the flats, those sandy potholes in the flats or docks, sandy areas adjacent to docks. Some of the biggest flounder I've caught personally are always around bigger dock structures close to passes where water is flowing off of a grass flat and constricting in a structured area, and then fishing the down tide side of that structure where all this bait is rushing through that structure, and those flounder are sitting in the sandy areas just down tide of that structure waiting for that bait to get pushed through the structure. Also sandy passes like Pass-A-Grill, Blinds Pass, Sand Key, fishing those little sandbar edges where the water drops off. Those flounder will sit there on an incoming tide and eat the bait that's getting washed over the sandbar. So you got to think like a fish. Think where those flounder are waiting for bait to come off of the flat or come off of that pass or come off that ledge. And they're sitting there on the bottom waiting to eat. And you got to make sure your bait's getting the bottom with a light lead or a jig head and a live shrimp. And you'll have a great opportunity for those flounder. Josh is coming out on the supporters trip to answer the next question. So myself, Josh, and Cameron Richardson will be there. And that is our film crew. We're all going to be there doing tips and tricks videos on the way out, the way back, and through the trip. We're going to be showcasing the supporters trip tomorrow and doing a bunch of different small videos for our social media accounts. So we're definitely looking forward to a great supporters trip tomorrow. Plus, drinking some beer along the way. It's going to be fun. What size hooks do you recommend for the double snell rig for mangrove snapper? I would start Nearshore inside 100 foot of water. I would be fishing either a 3, 4, or 5/0 hook, depending on the size bait. If I'm fishing closer to 100 foot, probably 5s. If I'm fishing closer to like 60 to 80 foot, probably 4s. 50 to 80 foot. Inside of 50 foot, probably 3s. And then the deeper you go, you just slowly tick up the hook size and size of the bait chunk you're using. So typically on an overnight trip, 39-hour, I'm using 6 or 7/0 circle hooks for that double snell. Inside of that, like a 10-hour trip, using like 4/0 most of the time. 5-hour half day, probably 3/0. So it kind of depends on the trip and the depth of water that you're fishing as far as what dictates the size hook you're using. Having trouble tonight.
What are you drinking on?
I am drinking Basil Hayden's tonight. Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I got some eclectic tastes now. I'm trying to broaden my horizons instead of just Jameson, and more Jameson. Jameson is still my favorite. Jameson Black Barrel, to be specific, but Jameson won't sponsor me, so now I'm broadening my horizons to more American liquor. Eagle Rare, I think, is still my favorite locally kind of U.S. Liquor, but Basil Hayden's is a close second. I don't know, man. I really like Basil. I love moonshine too. Don't get it twisted, but you can't sip moonshine and function during a live show. At least I can't. Let's see here. When does 2022 fishing trips come out? That comes out November 30th. Need to plan my 10-hour trip. So 10-hour trips are already out. So 5-hour half days, 10-hour trips, all are non-specialty trips. So a specialty fishing trip is 12 hours, the 12-hour extreme, 12-hour night, 39-hour, 44-hour. The shark trips, those are the ones that come out November 30th. Our 5-hour half day, 10-hour all day, dolphin tours, island trips, Shell Key, Egmont Key ferries, those are already out for 2022. You can book them right now. You could book them a month ago. The non-specialty trips are definitely out there already. So you can always book those non-specialty trips. The specialty trip schedule, that's what's released November 30th at 11 a.m. So make sure you pay attention to the delineation between the two options. Oh, I have the dark basil. Don't worry. Appreciate the opinions, though. I like a piggyback, too. It's another good one. It was great talking to Captain Bill Miller Saturday. One favorite lure was the same as mine, the Love's Lure. Do you know if the Love's Lure is for sale anywhere? No, the Love Lure is gone. That is a historic lure that is no longer in production. You can get some knockoffs that are very, very similar to Love's Lures, as Captain Bill Miller was describing. I forget the name. It was like Trout Master or something like that. There's a very similar option. I know Dogfish Tackle had it on the shelf. I saw it when I was in there. I'm sure Gator Gyms probably has something. I mean, I don't think they don't have anything. I think they literally carry everything. But the Love's Lures is definitely a great option, great trout killer. And it is not in production anymore, at least under the brand name Love's Lures. But there's definitely some options out there. Can you do a show about conditions inside Tampa Bay sometime? So I'm not quite sure what you mean. Oh, conditions as far as like where to target fish, where hot spots are. It's a good idea. We could have an inshore charter captain come join us for a show. So Mike Anderson is who we partner with the Real Animals. So the Real Animals is actually part of our brand. That's our partner. That's our brother. So Hubbard's Marina, Real Animals is synonymous, and the Real Animals offers inshore fishing charters. So if you want to do an inshore charter, technically we do offer inshore charters. Through our website, you can click hubbardsmarina.com, click fishing trips, and then scroll down to inshore fishing. And the inshore fishing trips tab is going to showcase all of the Real Animals pricing and options and phone numbers to reach Cap Mike Anderson and book an inshore charter in Tampa Bay. So if you want to learn more about inshore fishing in Tampa Bay, we do that too. Right through our website, hubbardsmarina.com, click inshore fishing, then click that inshore fishing information, and you'll have all of the contact information for the Real Animals and their charter prices. And you can book a trip with an inshore guide. Let them know, hey, I just moved to the area. I bought a boat. I want to learn more about how to fish Tampa Bay. And they'll be more than happy to kind of talk to you through it while you're on their boat. You can talk to Captain Mike and let them know you want to have a captain come to you and teach you more about your boat too. And those consulting trips are a thing too. And he can work with you on that too. Not everybody does consultant trips though. So you kind of have to ask around a little bit. How's Pinfish looking for this Friday's 39-hour trip? Pinfish has gotten a little better every day. Every time we go set out traps, it's been getting a little better and better. Red tide is still virtually gone from our area. There's still some extremely limited cases where we have red tide present, but not really even in background levels. So very, very, very clear in the entire area, and the pinfish population has slowly come back. So hopefully red tide will stay away and we'll have a chance for those pinfish to rebound and stocks to come back. But we've definitely been seeing it get better and better, and we, knock on wood, outside of weather situations where we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foot seas, that makes the water murky and it tough to get a small bait boat out there to catch the pinfish. The weather is at all okay. We've had no trouble catching pinfish, so should be fine this Friday for that 39-hour trips pinfish. So definitely looking forward to that. What are the details of the 63-hour trip? So we do not offer the 63-hour trip. We used to, haven't, and we didn't this year. We didn't. I don't think we did last year either, and we won't next year. So no more deep drops at Hubbard's Marina. There's some boats that offer deep drop trips around the state, but it's not something we do. We catch tons of fish. We've been catching tons of fish since 1928, nearly 100 years and 4 generations. You can see this morning's 44-hour video. We catch plenty of fish, so we're not going to run past the fish we're catching to go deep dropping. You have to run 110, 120 miles, and it has to be absolutely flat calm to do it. So it's not a niche or a niche that we are going to carve out because a lot of people are doing it already, and we already have our niche that we've carved out. So we want to stick to what we do well and focus on what we do well and do it better than anybody. So we're going to stay focused on what we're doing now. We're not going to get into that deep drop fishing at this time. But what we are playing with, and you guys can let me know in the comments and by texting the phone number here, slow pitch jigging. Slow pitch jigging is becoming more and more popular, and some people use slow pitch jigging when they're out there deep dropping, but you can also use it on 10-hour all days, 12-hour extremes, 39-hour trips. And we are talking to a Temple Reef rep, and I'm flirting with the ideas of adding some new rod racks to Hubbard's Marina and bringing in slow pitch rods, because nowhere in Tampa Bay can you see a full line of slow pitch jigging tackle rods and the reels to go with them. And Daiwa has a ton of slow pitch jigging stuff, and Accurate has a ton of slow pitch jigging reels. Temple Reef has an incredible slow pitch jigging line. So we're talking about bringing in some slow pitch stuff and offering some jigging trips. And also our lady anglers. So we're talking about starting a lady anglers only style trip. So that's 2 things that we're in the works of, kind of going a little bit out of our lane. We're not taking an exit off the interstate here, folks. We're just changing lanes on the same interstate. So we're going to be flirting with that in 2022, starting some slow pitch jigging only trips, and also some lady angler trips. So lady anglers only. So excited about that stuff, and we'll start slow and see how it goes. And if it's popular, we'll keep it going. Yeah, I would love to get to a point where we have enough lady anglers to do a lady anglers only trip once a month or something like that. It would be really, really cool. Now, we're not going to get into the slow pitch jig. This jig is better than that jig, because that's my problem with slow pitch jigging, and that's why I haven't done it yet, because everybody is like, well, if you talk to 10 people who are into slow pitch jig fishing, you'll get 10 different answers at what their favorite jig or their favorite reel or their favorite rod is. And that's why I've stayed away from it. And that's why a lot of tackle shops are staying away from it, because in order to really get into it, you got to bring in a full line. And I don't have the square footage. If you've been in Hubbard's Marina before, we don't have square footage to bring in a full line of rods and reels. So we're just going to bring in a very small selection, couple reels, couple lures, see how it goes. We're going to stick to the Daiwa SK jigs if we can get them, because Daiwa is a brand that we love, know and love, and we're going to stand behind. Not sponsored by them, just really, really enjoy Daiwa products and Daiwa branding and just their stand behind their product and customer service approach. We're going to bring in some of their reels, slow pitch jigging reels, if we can get our hands on them. This day and age, it's tough to order and get anything, but we'll try. And then we'll get some of them rods, and we'll see how it goes. Johnny Jigs, they're local. We'll probably deal some with them as well. So I like those guys. Josh is reminding me it's time to give away a free trip. Let's see who won a 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. So 10-hour all-day for 2 guests. Let's see who won. That is a $218 value, absolutely free, to Tark Merkel from, I didn't say where he's from. Good evening, everybody. Hope you've been enjoying the epic fishing, and we have. We've been catching a ton of fish and thoroughly enjoying this epic fishing. So appreciate you watching. Let's see if we can squeeze in a few more questions before we wrap up the night. What kind of hooks do you use for mangrove snapper? I really enjoy owner hooks, the Mustad Trocar hooks, the Bass Pro Shops offshore angler hooks. I use a variety of different hooks. The big thing I'm looking for when I'm fishing for mangrove snapper is thin wire hooks and a very small barb. A lot of times people will come out there with the 4X triple strong or 4X strong hooks, and they're this diameter of my pinky. I'm like, dude, you're never going to catch a snapper with that hook. And then they're bringing out live bait hooks where the barb is a 90-degree angle from the hook tip. And it's like, dude, that barb is way too big. It's going to take too much force to get through that fish's mouth. You're not going to hook as many fish. You're going to miss more snapper than you hook. So small barb, thin wire, double snell, that's how I fish for those mangrove snapper. If I'm fishing for grouper, I'll go thicker hook, thicker wire, and maybe even a little bit bigger barb if I'm fishing live bait. But definitely sticking to that thin wire, small barb for the mangroves. Next question, red tide condition. There is no red tide at this time. Literally no bloom in our area right now. We're keeping all our fingers and toes crossed that remains the same in the area. So we're very, very happy to report there is no red tide in our area and none forecasted at this time. But you never know. That stuff can change very quickly. So we're just keeping our fingers and toes crossed that we get lucky and avoid that red tide from coming back. All right. Let's see what our next question is. What type of fish can we expect on a 10 to 12 hour trip last week in December? So 10-hour trip in the last week of December and anytime in December, we're going to be targeting on a 10-hour trip in December, gag grouper, hogfish, and mangrove snapper, and then catching a bunch of those gray snapper, white grunts, and porgies, and hopefully lane snapper will be reopening very soon as well, catching a bunch of them. After January 1st, we'll be catching those red grouper, hogfish, lane snapper for sure, because they'll reopen red grouper and lane snapper January 1st. So excited about that. And then also those hogfish as well. Hogfish bite well all the way through until like March, April into early May. So great opportunity to catch them, plus plentiful lane snapper and red grouper too. Let's see, what other questions do we have tonight before we wrap up the show? Only got a few minutes left here. Do we provide fresh thread fins, or do you recommend fresh thread fins over frozen? Fresh thread fins work really well as long as they stay fresh. So if you catch them the night before and you don't freeze them, don't ice them well, they're not going to be fresh. They're going to start rotting on you. So if you catch fresh thread fins the day before a trip, you brine them in a saltwater ice solution, and then you add a lot of extra salt and drain the water out and get them really nice and case hardened and juicy on the inside, then definitely you'll have a very good bait, fresh, never frozen. But frozen bait works fine. As they thaw out, they get super juicy, especially if you brine them. Keep that exterior a little bit more rigid, that interior a little bit more juicy. Frozen thread fins work just fine. But if you want to go through the extra effort and you have fresh thread fins, definitely worth giving those a shot if you can keep them fresh is the key. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Is that everything, Josh?
Yeah, that's all the questions.
Whoa!
Yeah, we flew through.
It's not every week we get to answer every question. That's a good problem to have.
Well, a bunch of them were duplicates. A lot of people
Gotcha.
asking the same thing, so I just responded back with what, you already said, so.
Yeah. I mean, you answer it once, you answer it.
Right? Don't need to keep repeating myself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we do have our supporters trip tomorrow, and I got to be at the dock at 4 a.m. So if we answered all our questions, we might get out of here on time for once. So do want to make sure to give you a heads up. If you are a supporter, make sure you head over to our supporters after show. That will kick off at 9:45, and it's going to be a short one tonight, focused on the supporters fishing trip tomorrow morning. So we will have a supporters after show, but it will be very short, focused on our supporters only fishing trip going on tomorrow. So hopefully you've been a supporter since the start of our supporters group, and you saw that announcement and you had the opportunity to sign up. Sign-ups are closed for tomorrow's fishing trip. We've got 45 supporters going, plus our film crew, and we're looking forward to the Hogfish Sleigh Fest that we've got planned. But you can become a supporter tonight and get in potentially on the next supporters fishing trip that may or may not be coming in the near future. You never know. Every month we got to do some filming with our film crew, keep them on their toes. So we're going to be doing some more cool stuff with the supporters trip and supporters group. Plus, you get the supporters after show every week. That's worth it right there. Plus more conversations and good stuff too. So definitely worth the $4.99 a month, $4.99, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks for great information and the supporters after show. So check it out. If you're not a supporter on Facebook, think about joining. It's a lot of fun. Also, want to give a shout out to our sponsors and partners. Again, this show is brought to you by Gator Jim's Tackle at 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's exit 16 on 275 South, just before the Skyway. Check out our friends at Gator Jim's Tackle. Bring your kid. They give away free gifts for youth anglers. They have more inventory than anyone in the area. Even through COVID, they have it all. They have more rods than Bass Pro Shops. It's crazy the amount of inventory they got down there at Gator Jim's. Check them out. Also, our partners over at the Real Animals Radio Show. Check out our radio show every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Myself and Captain Mike are right there on WFLA. We will not be live this coming Saturday. We're going to have to do best of on the backside of Thanksgiving, but we'll be back again the weekend after Thanksgiving. Also want to give a shout out to our friends at Yamaha Outboards for all the great stuff they do. We are now fully Yamaha across our fleet. We don't run an outboard engine that is not Yamaha because of experience, time, and reliability. You cannot be Yamaha Outboards. Bass Pro Shops, Engel Coolers, Salt Strong, Aquatic Nutrition, Sport Fishing Chum, Cleanse Oil, and Bull Bay Rods. Check them all out. Appreciate them all for hooking up with us here at Hubbard's Marina. Also, don't forget to check out Hubbard's Marina on TikTok, Snapchat, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure to follow us on all those different social media, guys. And hopefully we'll see you again next week for another episode of this live stream show every Sunday night right here on Hubbard's Marina's Facebook and YouTube channel and our partners over at The Real Animals. Next weekend, the weekend following Thanksgiving, we will be here for our live stream show. We won't be on the radio. We'll still be on Fox 13 every Friday live, 8:15 a.m., but we'll be here for our live stream show next weekend. So hopefully you will be too every weekend, 8:30 p.m. right here on the Hubbard's Marina Facebook and YouTube channel. Hopefully everybody has a happy Thanksgiving this week. Eat a lot of food, drink a lot of drink, and enjoy your family. So have a happy Thanksgiving for sure. Important. My favorite holiday, as you can tell. I take my eating very seriously, and I'm very thankful for that. So let's see who won our 39-hour fishing trip. 39-hour trip for one guest. Let's see who the lucky Thanksgiving winner is Kimberly Miller. Kimberly McCullough. I don't know. You know your name. Kimberly, congratulations for winning our 39-hour fishing trip for one guest. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully we'll see you for the supporters after show at 9:45. So about 14 minutes from now, the supporters after show is live. For those of you in the supporters after show group, you can become a supporter tonight. Right at the top of our Facebook page, it'll say become a supporter. So hopefully you can get in there and enjoy all the shenanigans that occur. And we'll see all you existing long-term supporters tomorrow for our supporters fishing trip. Those of you who signed up, appreciate everybody for watching. And we hope you had a great week, and I hope you have a great week coming up. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Tight lines. Don't